Champion. Let it go. Push. Push. You got it. Watch out, bud. Oh. What's up, guys? Software Dev Jason here. I want to do a quick little overview of the bike that I probably spend the most time on, even though my moto vlogs I'm usually on the 250L. This is like the best little trail bike ever. This is a 2015 CRF230. It's not stock, it's got some stuff done to it, but air cooled. I think it's like 220 some cc's or something like that. It's been around for a long time, and it reminds me a lot of the XRs. Just a bulletproof little bike. I got this bike in probably 2014. Hope you can see the bike. I don't know where my GoPro's pointed, but I got the bike in 2014. It's a 2015, so I got it right when it came out. It's March of 2016 now, so I had it about 2 years. Got it brand new. They haven't changed the bike in years. I mean, I think this bike come out maybe 2003 or something. Nothing's really changed. There's a few part numbers that have changed, like the needle, the main needle and the carb. They changed the needle, so I mean it's different part numbers and stuff. Has a few less clip positions and a few other things, but the engine's the same. Everything's the same on the bike. They haven't really changed anything besides the plastics. But the suspension's still the way it always was when it comes stock. They're not known for having very good suspension. I would say if there's one downfall of this bike, it is the suspension. It is it's pretty sad in stock form. I mean, if you're just cruising around these trails like I've been doing, then you can probably get away with it. But if you ride kind of aggressively, or you have a little bit faster pace, man, that stock suspension is just it just won't cut it. I'll never get rid of this bike. It's just I don't have to do any work on it. I change the oil pretty often in it, clean the air filter. You just don't have to do anything with it. I've checked the valves like 3 times and they've never moved. I mean, just a very low maintenance bike, which makes it awesome for me because I'm always working on the other ones. I think it's got about 18 horsepower or something like that, but I raced this bike in hair scrambles even. I wouldn't recommend doing it stock because 1, you're going to get ran over, and 2, you're going to be hurting with the suspension issues. So I'll just talk a little bit about what I've done to it. I've got some more stuff that I've planned on doing to it. I just haven't got around to doing it. Pro taper handlebars, not because they're required. I mean, the stock ones felt fine. This is kind of the same bend as the stock one. I bent the stock ones like the first week I had the bike. Like I said, I'm pretty rough on this bike, guys. I ride this bike in some pretty rough terrain. I drop it. Like every time I ride it, I drop it at least once, wreck. It's just kind of the nature of how I ride, pretty reckless. And just not with a lot of skill, I guess. So I wrecked this bike a lot. The handlebars were done the first week I had the bike. So I got the pro tapers, and they don't bend. I have dropped that thing off several feet onto rocks, and those handlebars don't bend. Pro tapers, pretty awesome bars. Clutch levers, brake levers, broke all those within the first month I had the bike. So that's where the HRB's hand guards come in. They're pretty good. They get knocked up all the time, but when they get knocked up, you just got to remember that if they weren't there, it would be your levers that are broke. Seal savers on the front forks, just because they normally have those old school type of look like black spring looking things, the normal vinyl covers, and I found that If I didn't take those off and clean them every once in a while, they get dirty. Seal savers are a little bit easier for me to clean. I'm not going to judge those too well yet, because I don't know what how much dirt they're going to keep out. I've only had them on there for a little while. The front forks are not stock. They're the stock front forks. The damper rods have been modded by Bruce Triplett, and the springs have been modded by Bruce Triplett, and it's got, I think, 15 weight Bellray oil in there. They're a lot stiffer than stock. There is no comparison between a Bruce Triplett front fork that he's modified the damper rods in and the stock forks. There is no comparison. The front forks were causing me to feel pain after every time I rode very hard or I raced the bike. Airbox has been modded, and I've got a uni filter in there. I think I removed I think the snorkel or something I removed out the top, and I think I've got some the little 1-inch uni vents in the airbox as well. I have those on the top because I do bury this thing in the water every once in a while. So yeah, that's the airbox mods. When you're letting more air in, you have to change your jetting. So this bike has been completely rejetted. I probably spent 2 months tweaking and testing different jets in this bike. It was the most excruciatingly painful experience of my life trying to find the perfect jetting for this bike. And I had tried a bunch of things, and I ended up going with what they recommend online, because they had already done all the work. So I went with a 120 main, I think, and I think I went with a 145 pilot jet. So needle clip in the, it's been so long, it's been like a year since I've done all that, or a year and a half, but I think it was on the 4th clip position. It's got a different needle in it than it used to have, because the stock needle in this bike only has 2 clip positions, and it's, there's not an appropriate clip position for these jets. So I think I have a clip, the needle from an older version of the 230, which has 4 clip positions. I run Rotella T6 fully synthetic oil in this bike. It has the JSAL MA or whatever it's called certification. I will put that on the screen. The baffle or diffuser, whatever you want to call it, in this exhaust back here, that's been drilled out. So if you take the diffuser out, I don't really know where my GoPro's pointing, so I apologize if you can't see any of this stuff. You take out the diffuser there, and I've drilled 4 or 5 holes in there. I mean, it's still got a lot of the back pressure, but it just makes it a little bit more free flow, and it stays quiet. It's still the stock pipe. I don't think I'll be changing that. Like I said, I don't want this thing to be loud, because I cruise around my backyard and there's housing developments back behind me here. So that is not the stock rear shock at all. The stock one is in the filing cabinet in my workshop. That is a Hagen monoshock. You can look those up online. Bruce Triplett, the guy who did my my front forks, he is a reseller of the Hagen shock. That shock is a beast. That shock is awesome. It's a little pricey, but there are also some that are pricier. The Fox Podium shock. I think there's Works. One of those companies makes a shock for this bike too. They're all great shocks. All of them will be fantastic compared to the stock bike. Grips. Risers. I forget who makes these. There's some risers in here because the handlebar position was a little too low for me when I stand. So this is like the perfect low maintenance trail bike, guys. And if you do some mods to it, you can make it where you can ride pretty fast on it, at least in my opinion. I mean, I've raced in some hare scrambles in the 25 plus age group, which is a lot of young fast kids, a lot faster than me, and I finished mid-pack. In real tight gnarly stuff, it doesn't matter how many horsepower you have, you can only go so fast in that stuff. I can't recommend it enough. If you really like to race like motocross, or you think you're really aggressive fast hare scramble rider, then probably not the bike to start with. It's not a race bike. Nothing that I've done to the bike has made it a race bike. I've just made it more comfortable for me to ride it fast if I choose to do so. With some modifications, I mean, this is like a single track monster right here. Believe it or not, this thing is just amazing little trail bike with some modifications done to it. If you have a CRF230, make sure to leave a comment below, especially if you have some videos that I can check out, and I'll be happy to. I'm a real fan of this bike. I always have been. That's my opinion of the CRF230, guys. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching. I mean, no clutch, first gear, It will not die. I'll try to stall it here and see what happens. See how slow I have to get it to actually stall it. It don't want to stall, guys. It just refuses to stall. I freaking love this.